Hello and welcome to the space of Conscious CoCreators. I am Sherina and I have the honor today to speak to the co-founders of this wonderful project, Shani and Uma. So welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So good to be here on this site actually and just hear your stories and how this project, this space has been created and how you're managing it all.
Wow. So funny to be on the other side.
It feels interesting being here. We've spent a lot of time over there talking and meeting so many interesting people. And it's very interesting because a lot of people thought this was only a podcast. But this started out actually as a project for us to step into our power as facilitators and empower others to do the same. And I feel that's kind of the mission of what we started here with Conscious CoCreators. It's centered in empowerment. And I feel that is it.
Definitely. And that's very funny because we were speaking before with Sherina today in the morning, and she asked me, what is the link between all the tools that I use? And I said exactly this, it's empowerment.
Yeah.
It's like giving the power to the people to step into their full potential. And I remember the first time we spoke about Conscious CoCreators, it was in a year and a half ago, more or less. And the idea was creating containers for people to share their gifts in a purposeful way, in a heart-centered community, infused with spiritual practice and grounded approach.
Wow.
So to put it from high frequency words to earthy language, we wanted to create co-living, co-creation and co-working containers for people who want to go deep into healthy lifestyle. And we manifested first co-creation gathering that was not a retreat, kind of
gathering,
of event. That was from the morning till the evening was inner and outer work. So it would start with spiritual practices in the morning, energetics. Then we were going to co-working, then co-creation, and then sharing and coaching.
Yeah, that's it. And just before that, like I think the reason that this all like started and how it kicked off was because we were looking for this community and it didn't exist. And I feel like there was a lot of people who were looking for it.
That was my homelessness crisis.
Yeah. We were like, it was winter time, we were looking, the summer was coming to an end and we're like, okay, where's like a cool community where we can go and we can work on our projects and we can have all these practices and be around other people who are also on this mission. And that place didn't exist. So we created a vision to create it for ourselves and bring people together for it. And I think it just started from this spark of wanting to create something and really having that like authentic reason to bring people together and grow together.
Yeah. Wow. I love it. And I love this part of creating something that I kind of wanted, right? Or that I was missing in my life or something that I was looking for, which is amazing. I would like to maybe ask about your individual journeys and how this feeling arose for you to want to envision this. So what was happening in your life, for example, that made you want this or made you want to create this?
I can share a little bit first, if it's okay. I think at that time, I was going through a period where I'd stopped coaching for a while. Like I was coaching a few years before then, but I'd stopped coaching to focus on my own personal growth journey. And I was getting to a stage where I was looking to step back into working with people after maybe a year or two working on myself. And I knew that from my experiences in the past, like growing something by yourself is possible, like I did it in the past. But I also grew a different business with some friends in the past as well. And I saw the power of like people working on a project together and really committed on getting something. And yeah, with Uma, she has these like amazing qualities and skills that I don't possess. So we were hanging out a lot. So naturally it made sense to combine our skills and offerings into something that made sense. But I don't think it was quite so, like maybe the path wasn't as clear back then, but there was always like this idea of co-creation and something that was possible through there. And I feel like for me, there was always this calling of something greater. It was like, okay, I didn't feel like I wanted to be the one in front of the camera talking and like taking up space and being in the spotlight. But eventually that would just happen naturally. So I think I got to a point of just accepting that, okay, I need to take on my role as the leader and make something happen, because otherwise life is just going to pass me by. And up until then, I'd been very happy to be in the background and just like stay low key. So I think when this sort of project idea came, I felt like it was something that I connected to, and just the word Conscious CoCreators and the fact that we were creating it together with Uma and also Hato, who was a big part of the growth as well. The three of us were like on this path of creation and building together, and I think it created this like energy that manifested what we have today.
I love this. When you said I was working on myself, what does that mean? I feel like, we talk about this a lot, like inner work and my journey and all of these disciplines and, activities that we can do. What was that for you? Like, what does that look like? What was...
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think at that point, I'd spent like a few months kind of disconnected from people and society, and I went to a house on the beach, close to the beach, and just lived there, going for a swim every day, simple daily practices. And I got really deep into breath work, into meditation. And at that time in my life, I quit my job just before then and was looking for a new path. So the breath work, the meditation, and also like a lot of self-reflection brought up some things within me where I wanted to show more of myself and start, like, I think at that point I'd never even created a reel of me talking to the camera on content. So I was just very happy with being in the background. So I think the working on myself aspect was just, I guess, coming to terms with my abilities, accepting, letting things go, as well as like developing practices and habits that have stuck, like cold showers have turned into ice baths and like breath work and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would love to get more into this, but maybe we can hear from you as well, what your story is that brought you a little bit into this space.
My story that brought me into this space. So, well, everything really started when I experienced some kind of like awakening, as for many of us. I was 22 and I recognized that my life until that moment was meaningless. I recognized that my greatest life ambition, that was design public spaces in the cities and maybe a stadium in one of the capitals of Europe, was not coming really from my heart. And I encountered depth, and I encountered inner peace and unconditional love, inspiration, harmony. I departed to a journey that was just traveling, hitchhiking. I decided a part of my healing journey was to completely cut off from money energy in a way of needing to use it. So I was very like down to earth. I was playing on the violin on the street to make my daily money for, you know, my bread and hummus and fruits. And if one day I made more, it meant I didn't do it for the next few days, you know. I was very minimal and really close to nature and really connected and really happy. I had some transatlantic experiences. I had a period of my life that I was working as a sailor on the sailing boats. Before I was selling my paintings in the streets. And I was the happiest person, the happiest version of myself until then in my life. So I understood that happiness is within. And it all coincided with how I started to practice yoga and meditation, fasting. I became vegan and had my first psychedelic experience. Everything at the same time. So it was like, first was this, then I started traveling, and then like my crown chakra had opened, and I felt like I'm divine, so connected. And afterwards, my personal life became a little bit more complicated. I got into a very difficult relationship that resulted me with a total breakdown, and I came back to my country and took up a corporate job in order to prove myself that I'm of value. And this is how I earned experience in marketing. I worked first as a marketing assistant and then as a graphic designer in a corporate company. So I worked a lot with PR people, with marketing specialists, and after 13 months, I was like, okay, thank you, God, for bringing me understanding of this part of the society, and I'm going to go back to myself. And the day I returned my laptop, I sit in the car, I closed the door, and I cried because I felt like I literally regained my freedom. That was deep. And then I decided to go to Portugal, and I was still not in my fullest when it comes to the energy. So I decided to choose something that I can hold on to, which in that time was taking a master. So I already graduated from architecture and urban design before. Then I wanted to become a yoga teacher, but I was sailing, and then was the corporate, and then was the master. It was always in the back of my head, I just want to teach yoga, you know? Like, this is the greatest gift I have been given for all my life. But somehow it was not happening. I was always finding a reason. I don't have not enough money to take a course, or I don't have enough time, or I need a course even. It was already, because I was practicing for many years already. I read plenty of books. So every time I was teaching, like, it was valid quite. But not for myself. And then I graduated from my master. And finally, I did all the courses that I needed for my self-validation. And I was, okay, what do I do now? You know, I was like, okay, where do I live? I already know I can travel and be very happy. I already know that this is easy. Now the challenge is I would like to ground in a community of people who want to create a new earth, who want to have a positive impact in the world. And this was already coming back. And I was like, okay, I don't want to step into any leadership. I don't want to bring dominative masculine energy. Let me just join one. There must be already so many people who came up with this idea. But then I lived in one house, in another house, in another house in Portugal. And I couldn't find what I was looking for. And at some point, I found people who were like, okay, I feel your vision. Let's do it. And one of these people was Shani. So from there, we started to plan a first gathering as a pilot. It was, let's check if what we think is the answer to what people need, what we have to offer, if there is a match. And it was incredible. Like I think for us and for all the participants of the first co-creation gathering, it was life-changing experience. So from there we felt like, okay, let's do it. But as we started a business without any sponsors, and we are both like just normal people without any legacy, we had to build everything from the scratch. So to make another gathering like this, we were facing venues who were saying like, yeah, but then you have to pay 5,000 euros deposit. And we're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Can we do it like before? No, it's now. And we were like, okay, so what else can we do to be of service in order to, to be able to create these experiences in the future? And Shani was like, hey, you know, you're so good at branding. Why don't you like bring this up to people? And I had a lot of resistance because I was like, no, this mental energy, like I want to be in my feminine. I just want to teach yoga, you know, and bring healing. And Shani was like, yeah, but you know, you're good at this. And then we decided to combine our offerings. So we brought coaching, design, meditation, energy work, business strategy, all together. And we decided to offer this to anyone who would like to step into service and have increased impact. So like for me, one of the big problems that I have, like really with the reality, something I have hard time accepting is I see people who have a mission and they are living without being aligned. So like I'm talking alignment of mission, purpose, and income. So this is what I want to do. The universe needs it. The universe gives me what I need, which is money, and we are in the flow. And I have incredible yoga teachers working nights in the bars. I have incredible like Reiki practitioners working as waiters. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these jobs, but I'm saying that this is not exactly what they would like to do. So we were thinking like, okay, how can we support our community? How can we support people that we love using everything that we have acquired until now? So this is where it's coming from for me.
Yeah, I love it.
In short.
Yeah. I love it. And I would love to speak more about Conscious CoCreators, but going a little bit into both of your journeys, it does seem that there was kind of like a meltdown moment, right? Like you from your job, like you probably left your job because you were not happy there. Wasn't aligned with what you wanted to do. And then you also were not happy in that moment in life, or you realized, or you both had this aha moment. And I feel that there are many people who reach to this point where they're stuck in a job that they don't love, or living life based on expectations, but they don't know how to break free from that. And they have all these mindset limiting beliefs of who they should be and how they should be living their lives. So what was the hardest part for both of you to kind of allow yourselves to break from all of that, expectations, your job, the corporate, you know, and then allow yourselves to do the work and to learn all these things and to become more and more conscious and connected to yourselves, and then create all of this magic and beautiful space for others as well? I feel that some people are just still stuck there. So how was it? Do you want to go, Shani?
Yeah, I would say firstly the approach that I'd taken is not the approach I would recommend. Because I would, if I had the chance, I appreciate the lessons that I got from it, but I wasn't in a good position to quit my job. So I would recommend, if you're thinking about quitting your job, to really like analyze if that's the best move in your situation or not, because sometimes you might need a secondary income on the side to help you build what you want to build, instead of putting all your energy into something when a lot of your energy is then going into like how do I pay the bills? How do I make food? And then if you are, because the situation I got to was the clients that I was getting, I was then paying the money that I was making from that to buy food and like pay rent. And that wasn't a sustainable way to grow a business. So I would say that when you get to that point and you realize, okay, I'm ready to go all in on my mission, I'm ready to create something, it's about building the circumstances around you that will support you in the best way. And sometimes that's not always quit your job and go full in.
That's so
if
rational.
you're in that situation. Yeah, I say that now after doing that because it's from lessons. But that would be my advice at the first step. And then the other thing was, if you have got this like experience from the corporate world and you have like skills when it comes to management, when it comes to other things, tasks, sometimes when we switch from the corporate to the entrepreneurship, we think it will be different, and we think that, okay, now I don't have a boss telling me to wake up and have a call at this time. And then you realize that you start to not follow a process, and you then don't follow the things that you might think are boring. But what I learned is that creating a little bit of structure, creating some self-discipline in ways can actually support you. And a lot of the skills that I learned in the corporate world, I use today. And as Uma knows, we do a lot with Excel.
I'm the opposite.
We do a lot with Excel. She gets.
I don't like that either. Excel.
Yeah, my story is completely opposite.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be the main lessons. It's to really maybe question what's the best move for me, and know what the goal is for you as well. And to say, okay, if I want to build something, is the best move this or this, and really know how you can maneuver. And yeah, I think giving yourself a bit of time, because a lot of people, we want things immediately now. So with Conscious CoCreators, I think we were able to take these steps very slowly. And for some people, it may look like, oh, wow, we've built this so quickly. But for us, I feel like we've been taking our time with a lot of things. We've really been like, careful about the kind of content we're putting out, as well as like the messaging and the kind of people we want to work with and connect in the
Generally,
events.
like, what is the idea?
So,
what is the purpose? Constantly looking at the bigger picture.
yeah, so yeah.
But you're again bringing the attention away from yourself.
As yeah, I don't like attention on me.
Okay, I can also answer this question.
Go
for me, it was like really, really the opposite, because I was very young. And for me, it was like Shakti energy going through me, and I was like fully burnt out because my university was like a cohort, And I just say, fuck all of this. I'm resetting my life. So like I changed the country. I decided to like let go of everything. And that was my healing process. But the real work, it started after this healing process has taken a few others like turnarounds. Because it was very easy for me to like cut off from like being a part of society in this way, live outside of society and be enlightened, amazing. But then at one point I decided I want to be a part of the society. And I want to give to the society. Not only I want to be a part of it, but I want to give. And maybe I want to receive as well, And this was where all the work has actually started, because whenever we are like independent from the system, it's very easy to be to take this leap, because you live in nature, you're like one-to-one with nature, everything is perfect. But then coming back and re-establishing a healthy relationship with system is where, for me, was the greatest challenge, because I understood I don't want to be working for any company, really. I want to teach yoga, but I don't want to teach yoga in a studio in a city. I want to have a different kind of impact. And then I faced I know about branding, so I can make myself a brand, but I knew nothing about sales, nothing about communication, nothing about like real client connection. So I was there like super confused with my heart on the hands and like being like, hey, look, this is a great idea. Let's do it, you know. And then I was just, I was alone in this, really alone. So, of course, if you have a corporate background or any other professional background and you have savings, then Shani is right. Definitely you should plan your steps ahead and like make sure you have financial security for all the transition time. But when you are like a very young person and you don't have any financial background and you feel so strongly that you cannot do different and you cannot do otherwise than just follow your heart and eventually money will come, then it's a bit tiring, it's a bit exhausting, but, you know, at least I stayed always true to myself, you know. And today I managed to surround myself with team and partner and friends who support me on my mission, and I'm not anymore alone. And I understand that I don't have to do everything by yourself. And this was also a big lesson that I can share, is we don't have to do everything by ourselves. And that's another reason why we create this community for facilitators. Because some of us are good with math, some of us are good with taxes, some of us are good with body work, some of us are good with voice, some of us are good with the mental. Like, we all have different gifts, and we tend to give it to others, but not receive. And I reached out to so many facilitators being like, hey, we have a gathering for facilitators, like a retreat. And they're like, yeah, I organize retreats myself, so I don't need it.
Yeah.
And it was like, bro, we all need it.
I think the original idea, the word that came to us was like holding space for space holders. It's like the people who are there, always the ones organizing and creating the spaces. It's actually giving them a space to be with each other. And this was so powerful in our gathering because for a lot of people, they were either stepping into that role for the first time, like actually holding a workshop on something they were passionate about for the very first time, or they were in a space where they can try new things, like some kind of, you know, sound healing journeys that they wanted to explore with, or different kind of workshop that they thought of. We had like an art healing at one point and a workshop on veganism and so many like different things where people were bringing new ideas and being in a space where they can try it out. So.
But that's one thing, and the other is like when we are in the community, we can mirror to each other a lot of different things. And Shani has held space for this coaching container in the end of each day, where we would dive to one topic that is common for everyone. We could like choose together these topics. And once one is sharing, everybody is seeing themselves. And in a spiritual community, we're having so many similar issues, you know? And even if we don't call it issues, let's call it challenges. And we have so many similar challenges that whenever I speak about it, others can see themselves in the same process, maybe a bit further, maybe a bit before. If further, then I can give you feedback. If before, then I'm your inspiration. You are my inspiration. And this way, it was so powerful because we recognize that between us, we already have everything that we need. And
it ultimately feels like a playground to explore and play for people who are conscious or who have had some kind of awakening or aha moment or wake up from the life they were living into this whole space of consciousness and being more aware and connected and more like raw and authentic, coming back to essence.
And I think it works in two ways, because it works for people who are advanced in the energetics and the mindfulness and need support with more grounded business approach, as well as for people who are very grounded business approach and need a little bit more mindfulness and spiritual practices and awareness.
Yeah.
So this is a container that really balances both. So for everyone who is in the spectrum of both, it's valuable because not only the workshops are addressing this throughout the day, but also people are all in the same spectrum.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about everything that Conscious CoCreators is and does, because there are many things here like workshops and the podcast and the community and the branding. So maybe a little bit of the context of, well, we know how it was created, but what are all the things that people can experience entering a community like this, or a playground like this, or a space like this?
So I think it's a lot about what we mentioned here, which is connecting with the purpose, grounding in the purpose, and surrounding it with abundance and direction, and actually communication also. So a community is generally a space of people who are aiming to the same direction and are interdependent. So we would love to encourage this interdependency, which we can call networking or co-creation, from people who are aiming to the same direction, which is having positive impact and creating new earth together side by side. But as we are all so devoted to giving, I want everyone to receive, you know. So the people who are giving also need to receive. And we are here to support facilitators between each other and with us to receive, and in order to like be more aligned to the purpose and more aligned to the lifestyle that we all deserve. And this is a very personal mission, you know, because I come from a background that there was nothing really lacking for me, but there was lacking joy. And in my home, in theory, there was abundance when it comes to material things, but the joy and the overall satisfaction of life was missing. So as a child, I thought the money is evil. I thought because my parents have to work so much and never have enough, and like we blame money for everything. Money is bad. It's because they have to work. It's because we don't have enough. It's because there is this and that and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized it's not the money, you know, it's the quality that we give to it. And I see it in so many people I love today who are really like uncomfortable in life and like really a little bit on the edge of suffering or struggling just because the money is not supporting. And the idea is like, I'm on a mission, I want to give. So I am empowered by money to give even more. In order to like, I am suppressed by money so I cannot give.
Yeah.
This is a big topic in our community.
Yeah, and I think it's so relatable because eventually there's so many people who are practicing these different disciplines, but like you said, like there are yoga teachers who have to do other night shifts or work in other stuff because it's so hard kind of to accept it as a job or like that you can actually make a living out of it. And I love that your community tries to combine this. Like, yes, you can do this inner work in community, share everything, do your own journey, give and receive, but also build a sustainable base for you to make a living out of it and keep kind of like this ripple effect and co-create together to make it something bigger and to keep impacting more people as well. How do you combine both of these things?
Yeah, I feel for us, what we noticed is that since we came from different spaces and we have different life experiences and backgrounds, that all of our life experience up until now has helped us to get to this point, and we have certain keys that can help and support people, but we don't have all the answers. And what we notice is that people generally have the answers for themselves, but they're kind of blocked behind, layers of different, not being able to truly access all their power and feeling down and going through different self-limitations and so many issues. And in my own process, since going to my own depths, and I shared before, I don't know if I mentioned, but when I was much younger, when I was about 20, I tried to end my life. I went through a full depression and was going through a lot of things at that time. And since then till now, it's been a process of reflecting, going back and kind of learning from myself, because I am the master of myself. And the more I learned about that, the more I learned about other people. And I feel that when I was given the keys to unlock my past and unlock who I am and my journey, that connecting with other people and when they're going through something made it a lot simpler. And we're able to kind of share that in our process through what we offer. And on the surface, it's like it's branding, it's business, it's making abundance in your purpose. But I feel like on a deeper level, it's actually removing things that have kind of been stuck there through life, your experiences you go through, and you kind of hold on to certain beliefs and patterns, and you feel like, okay, you create stories and narratives about yourself because of experiences. And we work a lot with letting those go, with breath work, with meditation. So I think the way we combine it is because for Uma, branding comes so naturally. Like, she creates this beautiful logo in 5 minutes. I see her there just like, okay, just sitting there creating logos easy. And for me, like, okay, I can create Excel sheets to keep you on track, and we can do the structure and create a project plan if needed. So those two elements work well. And then on top of it, we dive into your story, into things that are blocking you from actually getting there. Because
Shani has much more masculine approach to energetic work, and he's like going to like directly to your limiting beliefs, and he's like, yes, but why do you think that? And I'm much more yogic approach, so I'm much more about connection with your higher self and meditation and connecting body, mind, and spirit. And he's got your mental with breath work, So I think that's really complementary when it comes to like the energetics behind the design. And if I continue to cut into you, then then it's like what we have, like the method that we developed is like really going down into your core to discover the offer. So like we started with branding, but the branding is a gateway to ground in purpose. And from, okay, I have this project, it has this name, I need a website. Yep. We go to, okay, why this name? Why this offering? Why, if you want to give to people 5 things, you only offer 1? Why do you charge the prices you charge? What are your values? What are the people you want to work with? So like this discovery phase is as important as the branding itself, because it's for people to really understand where they're at and why they do things. And then when we design a brand based on all of these whys and hows and whos and whats, then it's not a brand for one offering. It's a brand for years.
Yeah, and I think this has to do a lot with identity, right? And the stories that we tell ourselves, a little bit what you were talking about, Shani, about the stories that we tell ourselves, the limiting the beliefs and all of that. A lot of us come with a big conditioning of identity, of who we should be in life, how we should be doing things. So eventually letting go of this identity or these beliefs that are holding you back from literally creating a life that feels more aligned and authentic and conscious to you. It's difficult, right? There's a lot of fears, and letting go of a belief of an identity that you thought you had leaves you in an empty space, which is very scary for some people, so they don't take the leap. So how do you work around that? How do you, or also like your personal story, like how do you shift from having this story to then letting go of it or shifting it into something, into a story that's actually helping you create all of this and live a life that feels more true to you?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I resonate a lot with the hero's journey arc. And we work a lot with that in our work because there's so many different stages through there. And when you see the part of death and rebirth, I feel for some people, they feel like the death is the end, but it's actually the start of the new cycle. And after you go through that in your own experience, when you experience a complete rebirth, sometimes it's very subtle. It's not like a dramatic thing where you feel like, oh, it's a full rebirth. It's just you look back at yourself a year ago and you're like, wow, I don't recognize any of the action. I don't recognize that person at all. And it's a great thing because you can see the growth, and the death and rebirth is a big part of it. So I feel when you're comfortable with that whole journey and you see yourself going through that process of creating and connecting to your purpose and driving forward through the rebirth process, then it's a lot easier to take someone else through that path, because then they can feel comfortable to, even though they might feel that, okay, it might be emptiness if they let go of this identity and this ego. What I realize is when you can't fully have a full ego death, at some point the ego will recreate itself in a new version. So for you, it's up to, if you do go through that experience of a rebirth, then you can recreate the new ego however you want to.
Yeah. And how do you manage like your surroundings, right? Because also we create this identity, this ego that we feed many years. We're just trying to live up to that identity. But then you realize that actually it's not who I feel I am or who I want to be. So we kind of go through this death, rebirth, and we're trying to recreate or change that story. But how do you deal with those around you, right? Because it's so difficult to show up differently, because eventually everyone has this concept of who you are, who you should be, and has all these idea.
Yeah.
I feel, a lot of us find that difficult.
They do. And I found that difficult for many years. But I realized something that kind of shifted my perspective on that, which is that like every single person I've ever met has a different image of me in their mind compared to my mind. And they all have a different image of me compared to each other. So they all create their image of me depending on their own experience. So no, I don't actually exist in two people's mind in the same way. So I can recreate it however I want.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And also I feel like relocation is very helpful. And I think this is something that is very present in Portugal. It brings a lot of people who wanted to break free from the patterns. And we always say that Portugal is so special because it's attracting so much good energy, But, well, to break it down, when you're in your healing journey, you probably want nice and easy things. And Portugal is nice and easy, It's not very expensive, it's pretty warm, it's nice nature. And so we all come here to start the healing journey where we can recreate ourselves, because there is nobody triggering you. There is no relationships that you are assigned to since you were born. There is no friends that are counting on you and you just have to show up for them. There is no social expectation. You just come with your white page and you're like, hello, that's me. I am this, and that. And it's incredible. Every time I come back to Poland, to see myself in the mirror of my family, of my beloved friends, of my long years sisters that I love a lot still, and we love each other. But this reflection changes a little bit, and sometimes I see, this year I am more like I was before, and this year I'm even more like I was before, because at the beginning there was this, like you said, like this taking off this trip, this painful awakening, like I had to revolutionize my life 180 degrees. Yeah. And now more and more, I'm growing from there into this integrated part of myself where I embrace who I am, how I was born, how my conditioning, what I received from my parents. And I embrace what I built as an individual. And now I can like fully merge into like, okay, all of this is me. There's no old me and new me. My values change. My behavior change. But I still have the same me. Yeah. The same essence.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost feels kind of like lose yourself to find yourself, or unlearn to relearn kind of thing. What would you tell someone or suggest to someone who's in this moment, right? Because it seems very easy to, I leave my country and I go somewhere else and like get into all of it. Just, all these expectations and the attachment to, your job, or what if, the money, like there's so much fear in taking that first leap. So like, what would you say? Because,
I think it's very easy to come back to what we know. And what is difficult is to go to the unknown. So like, if you release one job and you try something else as an experiment and it doesn't work, you can come back to your old life. Again, find a flat in the same country, find a similar job. There is enough, for everyone. So I would say experiment.
Yeah, and one thing I would say on that is sometimes moving the country wouldn't change anything. Because for me, before I moved to Portugal, I moved to the Netherlands, I moved to Belgium. And in both of those cases, I was expecting something to shift. But I wasn't ready to shift. And I was still the same person.
Portal.
Yeah, but even when I first moved to Portugal, nothing changed. It took me getting to the point of I'm ready to now change my life. And then the new space can then facilitate it. But what I realized was just moving, when you're not ready to take that responsibility and change yourself, you'll just be the same person in a new location. So moving can help, but you have to actually be ready to change and do the work as well.
Yeah, of course. If we're looking for a magic pill to solve our problems, changing country will not solve it. But if there is a readiness to experiment and inquire, I would say like life is a gift. It's for us to appreciate it. I had a friend who used to say, life is your oyster, And the idea is, very vegan alert. The idea is that we come to this earthy life for a reason. And of course, depends on the karma, if we get to enjoy more or less. But the idea is to like be with this life, not to like let it pass. When you look at your life from the point of view of it's at the edge, it's like, what can I be grateful to myself for? What did I give to the others? What did I give to myself? What are the few moments from my life that I can be grateful for? Like I did an exercise from you yesterday. I had to do an exercise that Sherina gave me that was go back to my whole year. And month by month, go with my calendar, with my journal, and with my photographs to write what was good, what was bad, what I learned. And guys, this is unbelievable. Like, it seemed like the year, it was yesterday. But so many things happened. And I was like, no, nothing happened this year. This year was not so special. Like, I had so much better years when I was younger and traveling, And I look at this year and I'm like, what?
So
11 brands, 450 hours of training.
It's insane. Yeah, and I think you said this earlier, like the expectations and the journey, right? This journey of self-discovery, growth, whatever. It's an ongoing thing. And I like to see it like a spiral, not like a linear thing.
Yeah.
You know, because you kind of advance, then you're drawn back to something dark again, and then again you move forward, and then you back and forth. But you're collecting things the whole time, that wisdom, more clarity, more you. And I think kind of letting go of that expectations of how it has to be and being more with life and being present so you can really taste everything just gives you a lot of presence and eventually more consciousness and more direction in life as well. Like, I'm here now and this is what I'm living, and then I go to the next thing, and somehow life takes you to where you need to be, right? So for you, it was like, first I moved here, then I moved there, but now it brought you here where you could fully, you know, maybe embrace this and, well, create all of this, which probably came from all those decisions you made and that journey that you took. So I think that's two good lessons here, to be with life and no expectations of how it has to be.
And then I think for the question that you asked is like about what to do when you don't know what to do, is practice again, you know, coming back to the heart, understanding what is true and working with all the core wounds, like why I am actually stuck in life, even. What is the reason why I cannot dare to move forward? And then there's all this work, like not being good enough, not feeling safe, the imposter syndrome, the perfectionism, like all of these things that you know even more, money scarcity, all these things that are stopping us from stepping into our power. And like bringing this awareness with breath work, with meditation, psychotherapy, it's a really powerful tool. And this is coming up a lot in the branding mentorship that we're doing.
Yeah.
Because you start to speak with someone about the name of the brand, and all of this is coming up immediately.
Yeah.
And especially in Shani's department, which is all related to sales and money and value for your offers. Wow. Like, wow. Discover why not. Sometimes it's even more powerful at the beginning than discover why yes.
Yeah. 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 Do you have a story around imposter syndrome?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, many.
Yeah. How do you
This
deal
is how
with
we
that?
actually met.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. It's an interesting story.
Yeah. So we met with Shani when I was giving him a yoga class in Algarve. I was just practicing, and then some friends came, and he was with my friends. And then he met me 2 years after.
Maybe
1 year after?
maybe like a year, 1 or 2 years after, I don't know.
Something after. And then he was like, oh, you're the yoga teacher. And I was like, me? And yeah, Shani was empowering me a lot to step into my calling about teaching yoga when we met. And I was not self-validating myself because I didn't have the certifications. But well, I was devoted. So
Right. Well, she's underplaying that a little bit, because when I was at the beach, I was going through a difficult moment in my life, and I hadn't done any meditation or yoga or anything for a few years, maybe a year or so. And then I did the yoga class with Uma, and I was like, wow, so much energy moved and a lot of shift happened. So when we met again, I was like, sure, she was a yoga teacher. I was like, hey, you're the yoga teacher. And she was not like accepting it. It was, and I think it took a while to accept that I have the ability to teach even if I don't have the certificate.
it was not about availability, because I knew that I can do it, that I am able to do it, but I thought like a fraud.
You felt like a fraud.
Yeah.
So did you, after you got the certificate, did it change anything?
I'm teaching much less.
No, but the feeling, did you feel like, okay, now I can teach?
Yes, but after I took the certificate, I was like, okay, I knew most of it.
Right.
I knew most of it because I was inquiring a lot. So my training was a little bit more into tantric goddesses and working with Mahadevas. So there I learned a little bit of philosophy on that because that was not the branch I was diving into. But when it comes to like energetic systems, asana, and body, mind, spirit kind of approach, I was very aware of that. So after the training, I self-validated all the classes I gave before the training. I was like, Shani was right. I'm actually good at this. And the funny part is that after I completed 3 trainings, by now I'm teaching less than ever.
But actually, during the gathering, we started each day with a meditation and yoga. And I think everyone's feedback was like, the yoga is amazing. It's incredible. And it was such a great way to start the day, just like the yoga in the garden or on the roof, and everyone stretching before the breakfast and starting the day. We all started at the same frequency, and I think each day you had a different like theme or focus of the yoga. And I remember after one of the days, it was like the yoga was supposed to be like an hour, but that one was like maybe 2 hours. Everyone went so deep into like a process.
Really
It was
deep,
like,
yeah.
wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I always had the quality of bringing healing to people. And as a child, I was blaming my dimples because when I was small, I was everywhere I was going, I was smiling. People were like, oh, and people were smiling, and like, people are smiling to children. But I was always a very cheerful child, and with these things, it was like provoking a lot of good frequency. And I see this today, like this is something that I do subconsciously. And this was the same with yoga because it was my tool to like bring in connection to people to eventually feel better about themselves, feel more connected to their intuition, to the higher self, to high frequency emotions, love, peace, serenity.
Yeah, and I think as well as the yoga, during that 10-day gathering, I think our ability to see what we are capable of in terms of holding, it was like, it opened our eyes to a lot of stuff because we had, I think, about almost 20 people at one point where they're responsible for their growth. A lot of transformation is happening. It's a container for 10 days in a row with full-on intense deep work, as well as like, you know,
all the time,
just constantly being challenges being thrown at us, and we were like, you know, there in the flow dealing with a lot of stuff. So I think
and I think this
helped.
is when we decided that we are going to be partners.
Yeah, during that experience it was like, okay, this works, let's build something on this.
Yeah, can you explain more about this 10-day gathering? Who's participates in this, and what do you do in those 10 days?
So initially we thought it's for
Like digital nomads kind of vibe. It was supposed to be
space holders, digital nomads, and all the people who want to co-work, co-live in spiritual vibes.
Yeah.
But then we decided to move directly towards people who extend positive impact. And we work now specifically with facilitators, healers, coaches, community leaders, and heart-centered entrepreneurs. So the criteria to join is heart-driven impact. So it applies to psychologists who are holistic, to people who recognize the power of the consciousness, spiritual practice, connected with doing things actually, manifesting in an active, proactive way, and who wants to extend the impact. So the formula of the gathering, which now is going to be a creative incubator, residency for facilitators. It's a 10-day container when we have 2 weekends. The first weekend is grounding in ceremonies and opening, perpetuating, integration. the last one is the closing and direction, and also like making some kind of wrap. And the middle is the deep work. So this is where we do 5 days, starting early in the morning with connection with the self, then workshops oriented around how to grow your project, how to turn the project into business, how to create a conscious brand, what is conscious sales, how to work with people, how to establish a relationship with outside, and eventually what are the steps in order to increase the income and increase the impact. So at the end of the creative incubator, everyone will have a concept for their brand together with their online course, and whatever is the steps they will develop during the workshops. And in each evening, we go through limiting beliefs. So it's coaching container. And all of that infused with ice bath, sweat lodge, lake, sauna, wellness. We will have a healer. Movement practices, breath work. I said breath
yoga.
Work. Yeah.
Wow. When is this happening?
It's happening 18th to 20th of April 2025.
Oh, nice. And is this the vision for like your space? Like, is it going to be a regular thing?
Yeah, we want to have residencies 3 times a year, and eventually would like to extend it to 21 days.
Wow.
Because this is how much it takes to build a habit.
Yes.
So
that is the vision eventually, is to have a space where for 21 days we can go through this process and see it as more of like a incubator space. And this happens a lot in like the startup world. They have these incubators where different founders from startups come together and kind of live and work and build their projects.
Their projects.
Right.
Yeah.
But we want to bring that to the facilitators. So give it a space for facilitators, coaches, people in the conscious space to also not only give them the tools to create the project, but then the energetic work to really step into it. Because I think that's the missing piece for a lot of people, is that they have the business skills. Maybe they've taken some classes, they've done some coaching, and they've got the brand, they've got the website, but they don't feel ready to step into it. So they'll just push it to the side.
Yeah.
And again, there are 2 approaches to it, because we have all the people who are working with energy, who are lacking the business approach in order to have prosperity and sustain themselves. And we have all the people who have already great idea for business, but they don't have their own practice. So again, they cannot sustain themselves.
Yeah.
So it's really this balance between body, mind, and spirit. And then eventually, the dream is for Conscious CoCreators to become self-sustainable community, where we have also an online platform where the graduates from the incubator will be able to post their courses that they will manifest, and then they will be able to exchange their skills. So, for example, if you would be a participant, you would create a course about... What would you create a course about? You know, something related to psychology, probably.
Yeah, well, you know, managing stress, burnout, anxiety.
For example.
Yeah,
That's
for
a great
example,
topic.
self-love, confidence, yeah.
So you would create a course about managing stress. And you would submit it to Conscious CoCreators community. And then you will find there my course about daily breathwork exercises to connect to your purpose. And this is what you would benefit from. And then maybe you have clients in your network who would benefit from working with me one-to-one. And maybe I have clients in my network who would benefit from working with you. So I can send them your course, you can send them my course. And this way, we are all filling each other's gap.
Co-creation.
I love
exactly.
it. It makes perfect sense.
So whenever you are ready to make your course,
Yeah, there's a space.
It's been
there.
on my
There is
list for a
space
very
there.
long time to.
so
do
you should join the incubator.
Yeah. I should. That's why I asked the dates. Like, oh, this seems really nice. But it really seems like a space where we can also balance out that masculine and feminine energy, right? So I do
Yes.
feel we live in a society where it's so masculine driven. Like you wake up with the sun and you're ready to hustle and go and do. And we do need this. We need the presence. We need the structure. We need the base. We need the roots. We need all of that. But we also need to then flow within our structure. And that
Right.
feminine to land into, well, our inner selves, because that's where our creativity happens and our flow happens. So it seems like a perfect combination of that. Like, yes, it's here for the business and to, put all your pieces together, create the course and put yourself out there, make an impact and be very like hustle mode and doing, but then also landing in the being around what you're creating with others. It's really
Yeah.
complete. And
We'll have fire circles and time for jamming. We'll have, that's also this first and last week, it's going to be all about ceremonies. So this first weekend and last weekend, it's really about connecting with your unique gifts, the self-expression, how to overcome fear of exposure. And we have a lot of depth there.
It's in a beautiful location, quite close to here in Portugal, like close to Ericeira. So, and the other thing is 3 meals are included as well, like delicious
Microbiotic kitchen.
macrobiotic food.
So it's full detox for the body, mind, and soul. Yeah.
Nice. And Shani, what about your cold plunges that you do? Because I know you're a lot into that. How has your ice baths? How has that impacted you? How is that impacting your life?
Wow.
Because I have one at home. It's nice. It's challenging, and of course, I know what happens afterwards is just amazing. Like I'm ready for the day kind of thing. But I know you do it very regularly. And
I do.
It's like a practice that you.
Yes, actually, I haven't done it for about a week now, but I was doing it daily for a while, and for me, it's been a practice of letting go of the stories of everything. It's that moment when I can just connect to my center, because I know there's moments in the morning where I don't want to go in.
Yeah.
And I can create so many stories of like, okay, it's warm. It's like, I don't need to do it. I've done it 5 days already. So the challenge of going into something like that on a daily basis, for me, it started actually with cold showers and creating a habit of going into a cold shower every day. It's what you realize is it's a choice, because the warm shower's right there and no one will notice if you take a warm shower. It's just you. So if you make that commitment to yourself, like you're only going to cheat yourself if you don't do it.
That's what I did for a very long time. Warm water, and then in the end, like in my legs, cold water. I did a cold shower.
When I make it like a little, actually, I realized one time I moved to a new apartment, and I was there for a month taking cold showers. And I realized that the hot water wasn't working in the shower room like a month in. It was actually turned off, but I didn't realize because I'd never used it.
For me, it was the case when I was traveling with the van. I had these periods already here in Portugal, and I would only swim in the rivers. And then I arrived at somebody's house to take a shower, and I was like, cold shower, okay. Oh, wait. There is hot water, actually.
I can. Yeah. It's also
it's a matter of habit. Everything is a matter of habit.
Yeah, and also breaking that first mental barrier, right? And kind of breaking with that story again that we tell ourselves first thing in the morning or whenever you do it, right?
It started as a challenge. It just was like a few years ago, I was like, okay, let me try this. I've heard things online that it's supposed to help you, and I just went a few times, and it's like you said, okay, start with the warm and then a little bit of cold, and that's just how you get into it. And then
that's funny, because that's how I started with yoga as well. It was 30 days yoga challenge.
Ah, nice.
All the years ago.
Yeah.
It was only because I was fasting and I couldn't run, and I was in this extended fast. And every time I would go to run, then after I was like too tired to have my day. So I was like, okay, I cannot exercise. So what can I do? I always wanted to try yoga. Let me try with the YouTube 30-day yoga challenge. Bam.
Yeah.
And now, ta-da.
Yeah.
Fully like, this is my
Yoga
path
teacher.
of life, you know.
And I think this is also very beautiful for people to, because I feel that people who are having this awakening or moment in their life that they're maybe stuck or lost, or this is not the life that they want, and they're kind of transitioning. It's like, what do I do, or where do I start, or what do
Fast.
and fast. Okay, but for him maybe it's like the
Ice
cold
bath.
shower.
Cold
So I
shower.
think, and a little bit of what I'm hearing, like you've
Vipassana.
tried a lot of stuff, like there are many things that you can try and do, and kind of like you just do, or just start, or just go. And then you land to something that you do connect with. So for you, it's yoga. For you, it's the ice baths. But then there's a moment that it no longer works maybe, and you need something else. So it kind of seems that your space also gives this to people, right? Like, hey, there are all these disciplines, all these things that you can play, try, explore, and you stay with what you connect with, and wherever that takes you in your journey. And then, because I've tried so many things as well, like, and it's a never-ending story, and there are moments that it's more the silence or the vipassana, and there are moments which is just the yoga, and there are moments which is just, I don't know, some other kind of thing. So I'm kind of hearing this a lot, like just try and explore, and the more you're in it, the more things kind of pop up into your life. And if you don't know, join a space like yours where you have access to all of this, right?
But it's also now very common thing that we are like getting addicted to healing.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that I'm encountering. It's like, oh, I tried this, I tried that, let me also try this and that. And like 55th retreat in this year.
Yeah.
And retreat, how do you call it? Retreat tourism.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing for healing. But I really encourage to find this one thing that you can sit with it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's like the most powerful thing is like when we can just sit.
Yeah.
And this is what all these healing modalities are bringing you to. Like what Shani said, this is allowing me to take away my stories.
Yeah.
For me, yoga. For my partner, for example, he doesn't need to move his body. He already sits in meditation. He's there,
Yeah.
Then you have all different kind of people who have different shortcut. Maybe somebody likes plant medicine. Maybe other people like qigong. Maybe someone else is more into breathwork or surfing or running. Whatever it is, at the end, we need to meet ourselves.
Yeah, and I think I speak about this a lot as well, because people constantly ask for, what else can I do? What tools are there? And tell me more and give me more. And I feel we end up being in this collector's mode. Like if you were, I kind of explain it like this, like if you were at a buffet and you have access to everything, and you just fill your table with more and more plates, but then you're actually not trying anything, and you don't really know which one, and I feel that's what we're doing in this space. Of course, there are many things you can test and try, but you will not know if something serves you, if it benefits you, if you don't just use one thing, test and try for a while and see the benefits. We're really quick to like, this doesn't fully work. I tried something else and I picked this up as well and I collect and I feel.
I think it comes from this new age where we're so bombarded with a lot of stuff. And I think for me, the biggest, like, most powerful thing I ever did was a dopamine detox, where it was a constant for months at a time. No matter what, on a Sunday, I would disconnect from technology. I would take that day to not even write, not even like take any like input in or input out, just to sit and be. And that for me was one of the most transformational thing. As Uma said, it's just like just sitting there and just being. So once you're able to like really find that stillness, then you can maybe stick with one thing. But if we're just constantly scrolling all day, we take that same approach to the healing. We just swipe through different healing modalities until we find the next one and keep going.
Speaking of detox, in the Creative Incubator, we have digital detox every day for 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
So from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m., which is like 10 p.m. is when we do the digital detox, and like mostly stop speaking as well and just going in integration time, because there are so many things going during the incubator that if we don't take this a little bit of time of nothing, then it's just too much. So we developed this formula of from 10 p.m. until we go to sleep, and then in the morning until after breakfast, it's a digital detox. Nobody's using phones. And then there's another 12 hours of like intense interactions.
Yeah, it really helps to like go deeper in the meditation and the yoga in the morning as well, because everyone's in their own process from the day before, and that kind of feeds into the yoga.
And there is also, it encourages time for journaling in the evening, because we, like the reason why we combine all these practices during the creative incubator is because this residency for facilitators, it has a journey planned in order to arrive from point A to point B. And the idea is coming from, I'm coming here to change something about how I extend my work. I want to change the way I serve people. I want to increase my impact. I want to align my passion and income. I want to build a business. I want to grow. I want to show up. I want to overcome my limiting beliefs. I want to become more connected to my body. Whatever it is, or maybe I don't know what I want, but I know I want to change. You know, whatever it is, why you would like to join, by following each day with the practices and the workshops and the coaching container, you arrived at the end with some kind of conclusion. So there needs to be a little bit of break of these spaces in between for these practices to do the work.
Yeah, it sounds beautiful. I'm just like figuring out in my head, how is my calendar like, so I can join something like this. Yeah, it's super complete. What's next for Conscious CoCreators? Is it this incubators? Is it?
Yeah, I would like to see more people co-creating with us. So I would love to see creators, facilitators, entrepreneurs joining the community and bringing value to each other and creating this interdependency, creating this inspiration to each other. So we will open space for courses in our online space.
Beautiful.
We will open space for webinars. We already have a podcast that is serving inspiration and motivation for people who would like to step into service. And hopefully next year we will have 2 or 3 creative incubators. Another one in the autumn and winter.
Yes, and we've also last year been holding spaces at festivals, and this is something that we will continue creating spaces for people to meet and connect at festivals with our very own card game that we developed.
Oh, nice.
Which is it's a step into service card game where we created questions and Uma designed the cards, and at festivals people are sitting in these lovely tents and really like connecting with each other
in an authentic way.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's so nice. Yeah.
Building authentic connections at these gatherings.
Yeah.
Networking.
How do you guys feel about creating this? Because it's so like, it feels so nice to like creating this space with so many different, creations, co-creations. Exhausting. Well, I mean, of course, it takes a lot of energy, even if it gives you a lot of energy, right? Oops.
Yeah.
So for everyone who thinks it's very like easy and only love and light to start a project by yourself without having a budget for it, it's not only easy. It's very satisfying and fulfilling, and it feels great because we are creating for something that we were looking for in life, and we can fulfill our purpose by this, and we can serve our community, and we can work directly with people that we love. So this is incredible. but it's also this transition moment when you are starting to build a project and you don't know. It's very requiring, very requiring.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I will say that it does feel very right, everything. And seeing what it's blossomed into, it's like it's such a blessing.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't, we had no plans to create a podcast. We kind of discussed it as a joke in the gathering. We were like, hey, we have some mics. Let's just record a podcast with the people who are at the gathering.
It's
But then we never thought, we didn't record any podcast actually episode there. But then this sort of evolved from it, and then seeing how we've developed an online community and now the plan for the future, as well as what we're creating at festivals and other events. It's been a blessing to see that, but obviously it doesn't happen by itself, you know. It's like there's a lot of work that goes behind making this possible.
And we're looking for people who want to co-create as a team as well.
Yes.
So we are going to open a registration for facilitators and creatives who want to actively work with us, not only in terms of co-creation of the online community, but in terms of just joining the team. So this is also something that is going to happen in 2025.
Nice.
We already have a team building up, but we want to build on that, and people who are also looking to bring their vision to life creatively, we can support them as well. So if what we spoke about so far resonates so far and you want to learn more, then for sure we can co-create something.
And then we also have this two-to-one container, actually, where the two of us works with people who need support with soul-aligned branding and all that stuff. So it's intense, but it's this kind of work that it just makes sense, you know? It just makes sense because it has positive impact on us as individuals. It has positive impact on people we work with. We work exactly with the people that we want to support. And this ripple effects, because they have positive impact on the people they work with. So us supporting them to arrive to their clients is generally making the new earth. So that's the mission.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. But what I'm taking out of all of this, what I most love is that you both had individual journeys, and now you both are kind of using all your passions, your talents, your skills, that drive, that thing that lights like a fire in you, and putting it together, co-creating together, and kind of creating this ripple effect by passing it on. And not only the skills, so not just the branding skills or the coaching skills or whatever, but also this energy that you both have, which is really, really nice. Or at least I'm feeling it here. And because I kind of know you outside of this space, it's just really beautiful because it is warm-hearted, you know, and I think the world needs more of that and doing business like that as well.
We are so lucky to have found each other. I think this doesn't happen so often. Like, I wish everyone to find business partner like Shani, and you know, like this is so easy for this. This is effortless. That's the thing.
That's true. I feel that I've had business partners in the past, and usually the most difficult part is the actual relationship with the partner, because the business thing was okay, it was going forward and it was making sense, but there were so many little issues, and then there's like people doing like power plays and trying to mess with this and mess with the dynamics. But I feel we really understand our skills and our roles, and we're able to support each other in a great way.
Yeah, for sure. So that's us.
I love it. Is there anything else you would like to share that I haven't asked?
I would like to see a world where people are driven by their heart, and when we can see and appreciate each other for who we are, and that we can exchange services for money in a way that it aligns with everyone's lifestyle, and that healing is not a thing for broken people, but it's something for everyone, and it's accessible, and it's normalized, that we can be vulnerable with each other, that we can want something else than we have, and that's also okay, that we can align our life constantly, that we can co-create instead of compete, that we can dream and realize these dreams together in abundance and prosperity, and in order to regenerate the earth, in order to create new generations of people who are working as one, who are living as one. That's the vision for me.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I feel that I would love to see people truly connected to their mission and bringing that to the world. I feel a lot of people have something great to offer, and what I've experienced in these holistic communities is people creating these amazing spaces, so we want to support them on that mission, giving them the tools and the right energy to bring it forward. So yeah, I feel this mission right now is super aligned, and it energizes me to do things for Conscious CoCreators and creates what we have so far. And I feel it's like a step in terms of what's possible. And yeah, I really see this growing into a seed and building something truly like sustainable for the earth, not just for us and the whole world. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to speak with
Thank
us.
you.
It was really nice and very inspiring, empowering. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, for creating this. It's super nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. So good. You guys have created something so nice.
We co-created it.
Yeah. Oh, it's super.